Alright, it's another week, which means it's time for another episode of Cracked. So let's go to the record cabinet and see what Nipper's got for us today. Whoa. Nipper, have you been eating the records again? I hope not. Alright, let's see, what do we got? Nope, not going to do that one. This time we're actually going to do this one, because we are progressing, and this is a bigger challenge than last week. So what we've got here, well, I don't know if this one's even going to play good once we do get it back together. It's all dirty and greasy. Might have to clean it up. Actually be a pretty good demonstration of that. But this is a copy, RCA Victor, of the Glen Miller Orchestra. On one side we've got Along the Something Trail. I think it might be Sunset Trail, or I don't know what it is. I'll have to look it up later. But on the back side we've got the Glen Miller Orchestra playing Rhapsody in Blue. So I'm kind of curious what this sounds like, and yeah, we're going to have to do a bit of cleaning with this one as well. I haven't shown you guys how to clean records yet, or at least how I clean records. Well, this one's very interesting because, again, we're escalating a little bit. We've got 3 pieces now instead of 2. We've got some rather jagged edges, some rather interesting edges here. And let's see, I think, yep, that goes like that. And this one will, I think, go like this. I think we got most of the record there. The good thing about this one is the crack that's lateral to the grooves is in the dead wax, so that'll be good. I just have to be careful about positioning the crack that's transverse to the record, perpendicular to the grooves. Got to make sure that one gets nice and tight. So let's deal with it. So the big question for this one is, I'm pondering for a little while, do I do it all at once, or do I do one section, let it set and dry, and then do the other section and let it set and dry? And I think what I've decided is I'm just going to try to do it all at once in one big go. And the reason for that is if I get the first section wrong, the second section won't go in correctly if it's already set. But if I do them all at once, I can kind of get them to set at the same time, and yeah, let's hope. Alright. Alright, so back to the gluing. Just a little bit of glue along the edge here. Uh-oh. Yep, sorry for the delay. Glue it actually hardened a little bit in the end of the tube. Oh boy. That's just a bubble. Got a little super glue. And then we gotta do this groove. Alright, so that being the case, there's one more tool I'm going to get. This will be more relevant in a later episode, but I am getting this big piece of plate glass out. It's actually not that big. just to make sure everything lays extra specially even. However, I've not cleaned it, and I don't want the record to stick to it, so yeah, still need a paper towel on top of it. And we gotta make sure that presses right up in like that. And make sure this presses right up in there like that. And see, this time I actually do have glue oozing out, which is fine. Alright, I'm just going to hold that in place and let it set. Alright, well that's set for a little bit, and we are going to attempt a play test of it now, even though it still needs a really bad cleaning. I don't want to risk cleaning it and having it like fall apart on me, because I've never done a double fix like this before. Although actually most of the things you see me do I've never done them before. It's just kind of, yeah, kind of experimentation. So, made an interesting discovery as we put it on the platter, in that these tape pieces are here because at some point this hole got punched out, and yeah, it's a lot bigger than it's supposed to be. And so it's very difficult to get the record straight on the turntable. And as a result, I'm thinking at certain locations that's causing the needle to shove out in time with where the crack is, and it's causing it to skip again. So, have to go back to the drawing board on that one. Yeah, I guess stay tuned for now. We'll see if we can get this one to play a little better. I could say it's an interesting rendition of the tune. I'm not a particular fan of it. It's a little more sweet, and I think the Rhapsody in Blue is supposed to be a little more, you know, jazzy and bold. But you know, it's sold, obviously. Yeah, more to come on this one. Alright, so we're here in our downstairs bathroom now, because I promised you guys I was going to show you how to clean records. Well, for that, there's only a couple things you need. And there's a sink, and yeah, this one's kind of gross, sorry. Some soap, just any old hand soap will do, although you want to be able to cut the grease and dirt that's on the record. A toothbrush, not one that you're going to use for your teeth. Obviously you need your dirty record. And a set of paper towels. And then also a drying rack, and for my drying rack I use this because I inherited it, and I'll leave it to our British friends to identify what this is. Be a little hard to find one of these in the US normally, which is where I am, but yeah, you could just use a regular drying rack, but that works really well if you happen to be in England, or if you happen to find one of those. That's a toast caddy, actually. Yeah. So let's get to work. So we got our sink here, and put it on warm water. You don't want hot water, but you do want warm water. Because soap works better with warm water. And then one side at a time. Now again, this record's kind of trash, so you know, if the label gets a little wet, I'm not going to care too much. But one side at a time. You want to get the grooves wet. And I'm only going to bother cleaning one side of this record, because the other side I don't really care about anyway. I might find out later the song on the other side is a little better, but Yep, I'm going to just squirt some soap on it, and while supporting fingers on the other side, scrub the soap and suds into the grooves. And I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but I can see it. We've already got, you know, dirt coming off and falling in the water in the basin. So it's pretty dirty, soapy water that's in there. I'm actually going to put a fair amount of soap in here. There's different theories as to, you know, how much soap you should use or what kind of soap you should use. I'm just not too fancy about that kind of thing, and yeah, maybe I could get my records a little cleaner and remove any film at the end. The one thing you do want to remember is if you do this with any laminated type record, which see, I think it's Cracked episode 3 where I talk about laminated records, you want to make sure that you don't get any water on the cardboard center. But if you got a solid shellac record like this one is, as we confirmed earlier, because it was broken in pieces, then it's okay to get the record wet even if there's a crack in it, because, well, technically water can change the surface energy properties of a material, and it could, in theory, propagate the crack if it's not stabilized. So yeah, maybe you should be a little careful with that. Be aware of that and stabilize any cracks you got going before you add any water. But when you got a record like this, especially one that you don't care so much about the grime, or you don't care so much about making it perfect at the end because it was really beat up to begin with. It's not that big a deal. Cracks are already propagated. So, and normally I might scrub a little more, get more dirt out of the grooves. You can see I've gone over the whole surface a couple times now. And slowly, less and less suds. I'm almost to the point now where I'm just gonna rinse it off. And then we'll maybe try to see if we can get that center hole fixed. This one ended up being a little more complicated than I thought, but that's okay. More stuff to show how to do. Alright. So now I'm going to try to not get the label too wet. Try to preserve it as much as possible. Alright. There's some soapy crudiness on the backside too. So I'm going to rinse that off. I'm not going to scrub it. So you see the difference now. This side still has oil on it. So you can see how the water, maybe you can see, depending on the reflection, how there's water beaded up all over the place. Whereas this side, most of the oils have been removed, so the grooves are showing a lot more, and the water's just pooling wherever it wants to pool, regardless of grease. So turn the water off, and gently dry the surface. And normally I'd be doing this in a different sink. Right now the rest of the family is all upstairs recovering from colds. I myself am recovering from the influenza. But actually I might use this sink more in the future because it's nice and deep compared to some of the other ones. Doesn't have a really good surface to put stuff on next to though, so. Alright. Yeah, those cracks were not taken care of very well, I guess. Oh well. Alright, and at that point, you put your record in the caddy like that. And the reason I like this caddy is because they're actually spaced out. There's like space grooves in there. And if you're washing, like say you just pulled a bunch of 78s out of a collection that have been sitting in, you know, a dirty basement for a while, you know, I can wash several of them at once and have them all drying, and they don't touch each other. They got space between them, and you know, and they're relatively stable. And so that's how you clean a record. A 78 now. I wouldn't go doing that with vinyl. I mean, you can do it with vinyl, but you want to be a little more ginger, because you know, even a toothbrush will damage a vinyl groove if you rub it too hard. Shellac, not so much of a problem. Okay, I think I figured out how to solve the whole issue, at least temporarily. Alright, so this record is dry now, and as we said before, the hole is not the proper size. However, records are pretty standardized, and if we take another RCA Victor of approximately the same era, so this one's 20.3061, it's cracked, maybe we'll fix that someday, and this one's 20.1529. We put the other one that does have a good hole on the bottom, and then we put the one that we want to play on the top. We can then position the top one over the bottom one, we think, so that perhaps use that bottom one to line it up. That looks pretty good. Let's try that. Well, we play tested it again. We got it to go all the way through. Skipped a couple times, and honestly, I just don't think it's gonna get any better than that. This record was a bit of a pain. Looking at it sideways, there might even be a little bit of a warp there that I didn't notice. Well, it's actually pretty flat, but 3 pieces, that was kind of tough. Maybe I was wrong about the whole do it all at once deal, and next time I will attempt to do 1 piece at a time. But yeah, there you go. Rhapsody in Blue by the Glen Miller Orchestra. May it rest in peace on my shelves and on YouTube now. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. We got a lot more in store. I got a lot more broken records in the cabinet over there. I think at some point we're going to go for the tagline for this channel of having more broken records than How Ridiculous, or Dude Perfect, or Colin Furs even, and see what they make of that. Kind of a publicity stunt sort of thing there, but hey, it's the truth. At some point it will be the truth, hopefully, and then they will find a pile of 78s somewhere and go and break them just so they can say they have more broken records than me again. So whatever, it's all fun times. Anyway, hope you guys have a good day, a good week, and thanks for watching. See you next time.